Things have been going great in the garden, and then we have this.
Hello, welcome to our channel. We're all about sharing our adventures and experiences around our homestead and off-grid cabin here on our 40 acres in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada.
We enjoy life around the cabin, exploring, canoeing, hiking, campfire cooking, gardening, and sharing our love of nature.
If you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and click the little notification bell so you won't miss anything. Right here on Cabin Life with Glenn and Maureen.
Hi, I'm Maureen. Welcome to our garden. I've got lots of updates to share with you today about what's been going on at the garden, plus an update on the apple cuttings, and we have a little surprise too. This spring has been a roller coaster of sorts with the weather and all, and a few other things too. And through all that, I managed to get a few of the beds planted, the original lasagna garden beds. I just added some new compost and some good topsoil, stirred them up a little bit, and planted our seeds. And the onion sets, they're coming up great. Look at them. I planted them around the garden. These two beds here are onions, and then there's some in with the carrots, the radishes, and the cucumbers as well. Now look at this Italian oregano. Isn't it doing great? And these are the other two original lasagna garden beds that we started last summer. And over here we have the heirloom Marketmore cucumber, and I chose it because I'll be able to can it early in the season when they're small, or we can just let them grow and have delicious cucumbers all summer long. Now we're going to trellis it because the seed company suggests to trellis and you get a nice good size cucumber. And over in this bed here, we have cherry Belle radishes, and I chose those just to enjoy some radishes through the summer in our salads. And then here we have carrots. We have red Cored Chantenay Carrots, and I chose those because they're a nice sweet carrot to enjoy during the season, and we can can them, we can freeze them, and they're a good winter keeper as well. So they're a good all-around carrot to have in the garden. Look at what I found scrounging around in our garden stuff. It's lawn trimmer. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be running this all along the edge here, along the raspberries. I'm going to hold them back because they keep getting into the garden. I keep picking new raspberry plants. Now I love raspberries, but not in my garden. The best way to garden, put on a straw hat, get a cool drink in one hand, and then tell someone else where to dig. Now, my last video when I was talking to you about the changes that we were doing to the garden, I'd mentioned that we weren't sure if we were going to be planting our potatoes over in this bed over here or the bed that I'm standing on. We're still working on this bed here. And we decided to put the potatoes over there on the side. Now we planted them in straw, so I put some sand down, a layer of straw, the potatoes, and then some more straw on top. So they're ready to go, they're all planted. Now we just need to finish the tomato bed. We just need to get a little bit more topsoil, some more greens, and then we're ready to build another lasagna bed right here for the tomatoes. A couple of weeks ago, Jake was in the garden with me, and he came over to my heirloom rhubarb plant, and he dug it up. Yep, took it right out of the ground and totally destroyed it. Now, he was just having puppy fun, but a fence is going up. Well, the other day when I was in town, I went to visit my son. He was at work. I went to his garden, and guess what I got? More rhubarb. This is from the same plant, the rhubarb plant that was in my mother's garden when I was a child. And we would take the rhubarb, and oh, it was like the most delicious treat you could ever have. Mom would send us out to the garden to get some rhubarb. She would give us each a little bowl of white sugar, and she'd say, go enjoy some rhubarb. So we would take these big, thick stalks of rhubarb and our little bowls of sugar, and we'd go sit on the front porch. Oh, that was the best treat. Oh, I just love that rhubarb. And here we go. This is from those same plants. It's really exciting. I'm glad I was able to get some, and my son was able to take care of them. Now, these are little, but they'll grow to nice, big, luscious plants. This spring I planted a lot of seeds so we'd have lots of tomatoes to put in the ground this year, and they were doing great until I transplanted them. Now I'm not sure what went wrong, but look at how small they are. Can you see that? So I went to the local organic greenhouse to see what they had, and I got the last 4 Roma tomato plants. Look at them, they're beautiful and healthy. They've done a good job taking care of them for me, haven't they? And then we have this other one. This is called the tumbler plant. Now this tomato plant, they say it'll grow like 500 golf ball sized tomatoes. So it'll be nice to see how those go. These ones, the tumblers, they're called tumblers because they'll tumble over a container. They're meant for container gardening, so I'll be looking for a container to put these in, and we'll see how they turn out. Big cherry tomatoes. And then we have some lettuce and some other herbs, and the greenhouse is owned by a lovely older couple, and they're always kind to their customers. They just love us and we love them. And what they did this year was they gave everyone a surprise plant. They were saying that in their compost pile there was a big batch of seeds growing. They don't know what it is, and so they said, well, try and take a guess. So I did, and everyone has a different opinion as to what it is. So put in the comments down below what you think this plant is. There it is. Do you know what it is? If you do, put a comment down below. I almost forgot about my lettuce. Last year we had them in the beds and they got full sun all day and they bolted to seed really early. So we think it was because the beds were too hot. So this year I decided to put them in pots and we'll keep them in the shade and see how they do because it'll be cooler for them here. And then we can move them around if we have to because our whole bed is pretty well in the sun. Someone keeps putting dirt on my garden and the plot thickens. A lot of people have been asking us how the apple cuttings are doing. Well, they've had a pretty tough time. First we had powdery mildew, and that seemed to be solved with a good spray of vinegar and water. And that cleared up, but then we noticed that they had fire blight. We didn't notice that when we picked the cuttings, but all we have left is 3 of them. The other ones, they didn't make it. Now, fire blight is a blight that attacks fruit trees, particularly apple, and it's very devastating to them. They say they can actually wipe out an orchard in 3 years. Now, the reason why they call it fire blight is that they look like they've been torched, really. Look like they've been burnt. So I'll show you a close-up of them. Now, I read up online and a lot of people talked about the success of using colloidal silver. So I've been spraying them with a solution of 10% colloidal silver every day, and so far there's 3 that have survived. And hopefully they'll make it. They're still showing signs, they show signs of struggle, but they're still getting more leaves are growing. So we're hopeful that we'll beat the blight and we'll have some nice apple trees. We have lots going on and lots coming up in the future. So if you haven't already done so, please click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell. And if you want to know more about the garden and how we did in 2019 and other things that are going on at the off-grid cabin, check out these links here. Well, that's it for the garden update today. Thank you very much for joining me in our garden. We'll see you next time. For Glenn, I'm Maureen. Over and out, and take care.